Hello, pharmacy students, and welcome. If you're studying pharmacognosy, you absolutely know this topic is coming up in your exams. Classification of crude drugs is one of those guaranteed high marks questions. So today, we're not just going to learn it, we're going to master it. We've all seen it on past papers, right? Explain the classification of crude drugs for a solid 10, maybe even 15 marks. And yeah, it can look a little intimidating, but trust me, it's actually one of the easiest places to score big. By the time we're done here, you'll have a super clear framework to write that perfect answer and bag those full marks. So let's jump right in with the basics. So first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is a crude drug? Well, the term is actually pretty simple. It's just any natural substance, whether it's from a plant, an animal, or even a mineral that hasn't been processed yet. You know, we're talking about the raw stuff, like dried leaves, roots, or barks that are used for their medicinal value. Easy enough, right? Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the 4 main classification systems you have to know for your exams: morphological, taxonomic, chemical, and pharmacological. And then we'll tie it all together with a quick recap and some killer exam tips. Let's do this. Our very first method is morphological classification. Now, the name might sound a bit technical, but the idea behind it is the simplest of them all. Morpho just means form or structure. So all we're doing is classifying drugs based on what they look like, or more specifically, which part of the plant they come from. It's the most basic what you see is what you get approach. So yeah, the key question here is really which part of the plant are we actually using? Is it the root? Is it the leaf? The flower? This method simply groups all the drugs into categories like roots, rhizomes, leaves, barks. You get the idea. And here we go. These are the examples you absolutely must know for your exam. This is your bread and butter. So for roots, think licorice and Rauwolfia. For leaves, the classic example is senna. For barks, cinchona is a must remember. And for flowers, clove is just perfect. Try to remember at least 2 examples for each category, and you'll be golden. Now, this concept ties directly into what we were just talking about. Organized drugs are the actual plant parts, the leaves, the roots, the barks, because they have a clear cellular structure you could see under a microscope. Unorganized drugs, on the other hand, are the substances that come out of the plant, things like gums, resins, or latex. They don't have that same cellular pattern. It's a really important distinction to mention in your answer. All right, let's move on to our second method, taxonomic classification. So if the last one was the simple way, this one is the biologist way. I want you to think of it like a big family tree, but for plants. We're classifying the drug based on which biological family it belongs to. This is a much more scientific approach for sure. It's about placing the drug within its proper biological hierarchy. What is its family, its genus, and its species? This really helps us understand the evolutionary links between different medicinal plants. This table shows it perfectly. Let's take digitalis, which is where we get the heart drug digoxin. Its species is Digitalis purpura, and it belongs to the genus Digitalis. Now, why is this useful? Well, it allows scientists to predict that other plants in that same Digitalis genus might have similar heart-acting compounds. It's a huge guide for future drug discovery. Okay, on to our third system, chemical classification. Now we're asking what is, for a pharmacist, probably the most important question of all. What's the active chemical inside the drug that's actually doing the work? This method is incredibly useful, because drugs that have similar chemical ingredients often have similar effects. So we group them into categories like alkaloids, glycosides, tannins, and so on, all based on their chemical nature. It's a very popular and logical way to classify drugs. Now, of course, for the exam, you need to remember these main chemical classes. So I've got a fantastic memory trick for you. Just remember this sentence. A good pharmacist treats very responsibly. The first letter of each word will help you remember the major groups. Definitely write this one down. So let's connect that trick to this table right here. A is for alkaloids, like morphine. G is for glycosides, like digoxin. P, well, pharmacist is for... Oh, wait, the trick is a good pharmacist treats very responsibly. Right, let's try that again. A for alkaloids, G for glycosides, T is for tannins, found in amla, V is for volatile oils, like in peppermint, and R is for resins, like benzoin. See how that works? It's a great way to link the plant to its active ingredient. Okay, just gonna pause for a second here. If this is helping you get ready for your exams, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and maybe share this with your classmates. Your support really does help us create more free content like this for pharmacy students all across India. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now let's get back to it. And now for our fourth and final major classification, pharmacological. This is maybe the most practical one for a pharmacist. With this method, we don't really care about the plant part or its chemical family. We care about one thing and one thing only. What does this drug do inside the body? What is its therapeutic action? Let's run through some key examples. First up, cardiotonics. These are drugs that, as the name suggests, act on the heart. And our go-to example here is, you guessed it, digitalis. What about for relieving pain? For that, we have the analgesics. And the most powerful natural example is, of course, morphine from the opium poppy. Then you have antimalarials, which are so important for treating malaria. The most famous example in pharmacognosy has to be quinine, which comes from the bark of the cinchona tree. And finally, a really common category, laxatives, which help with bowel movements. And look his back, our familiar friend, senna. Did you notice that? A single drug like senna or digitalis can pop up in multiple classification systems. That is a fantastic point to make in your answer to show you really understand the topic. All right, we've covered all 4 methods, so let's do a quick, powerful recap to really lock this knowledge in and get you feeling confident for that exam hall. So why do we even need all these systems? Well, imagine a massive library with thousands of books, but no sections, no alphabetizing, nothing. It would be total chaos, right? You'd never find anything. Classification does the same thing for crude drugs. It provides the structure we need for a systematic study of pharmacognosy. It prevents confusion and makes the whole subject manageable. So here they are, your 4 master keys for the exam. Just remember these 4 questions. Morphological is, what part is it? Taxonomic is, what family is it from? Chemical is, what's inside it? And pharmacological is, what does it do? If you can explain these 4 with just 2 solid examples for each, you are absolutely set for full marks. And now, one final question for you to get your brain firing. To really own this topic, you need to have your favorite examples ready to go. So tell me in the comments below, which drug example, like senna, digitalis, or cinchona, are you definitely going to use in your exam answer? Let's share our top picks. All the very best with your studies.